Hi, this is Stacy Morgan. I'm going to be talking to you about Schoology. In the past, we've been using Seesaw with all of our elementary students, and it's a platform where they can work on all content areas. The middle school uses Schoology, and I noticed last year, my fifth graders especially were misusing items on Seesaw. They were misbehaving with it, and so I went and asked if we could start using Schoology with our older students so that when they get to the middle school, they're more prepared. So I'm being given that gift this year, so I'm really excited. So within Schoology, that's this gray portion that you're seeing, I can click these four little squares up here and I can start building a Nearpod lesson within Schoology. One thing I noticed is if I make a hyperdoc and I use it on my iPad, every time I click on something, it opens up another window. And it keeps doing this, and then students are going to get lost in that whole shuffle. Where if I'm in the platform of Schoology, creating a Nearpod lesson, all the content they need is right there, and I can keep them safe, but I can also allow them to learn things in the right progression. So this right here, this picture and this labeling was made in Canva, and right now Schoology doesn't talk to Canva as well as it does to Google Docs. So that's pretty cool, but they're always adding these things. So this was created, the picture was in Canva, the engage and the background were made within Nearpod on Schoology. This is a virtual field trip where kids can click and look around to see what the Iditarod might look like, what snow looks like, and what mountains look like, because we're from Texas and we don't get much of that. And then the engage portion, they're going to fill out the K and the W, and then we'll come back together to finish the L, and we'll be adding to the L throughout our study of the Iditarod, which will take place in March, but it will cover over several weeks. While students are filling this out on my teacher side, I can see everything they're doing and I can clear up misconceptions or anything they're struggling with. Again, the pictures were taken from Canva. The background was made within Nearpod, and so was the labeling. And this is a video. This is a YouTube video, but when I put the video link into Nearpod, it takes out all commercials, all the pop-ups, so the students are clearly only seeing the video that I want them to see. All videos that I included are 2 to 3 minutes so that they don't take a big chunk out of the learning that we're doing. This is a link to a website with information about the Iditarod for students. It's coming from Kids Encyclopedia Facts. And then within Nearpod, I can put Flipgrid videos. So I created one that says, what do you think it would be like to race a team of dogs on the Iditarod? Students can add their response through video or writing or through pictures. And this is explain portion. Again, the background was made in Nearpod, but the picture was taken from Canva. And then this is another video that takes them through what it's like to ride on the back of that sleigh as the dogs are pulling. And it gives them a lot of other information about the Iditarod that they didn't know. The health of the dogs is super important, so I included a video about that and what happens if a dog gets sick along the trail or injured. And so this is where students are going to record what they learned about sled dogs. One thing I really like about Nearpod is the students cannot move forward with these blue buttons without finishing the task ahead. If it's a video, they have to listen to the whole video. They can't skip over the writing piece to go to the next thing. They have to do something. And again, I can see this in real time as they're working. This is a matching activity that you can create in Nearpod. It was really easy. So for this first lesson, this is the first lesson of the Iditarod that we're going to do. I'm going to be going over text features as I read a book with them. And so one thing I want them to be able to do is to match up what those text features are, because they are review for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So I want to make sure I'm kind of supporting the teachers in that aspect. And then they'll click through it like that. They will not be able to push this button. They'll have to finish. In week 1, we're all going to read the same story, The Great Salmon Race, but in weeks to come, I can include different videos for different grade levels, or I can include different books. All of this I created, so it's really easy to do. So for 3rd grade, I might do Stone Fox. For 4th grade, I may do IKEA, and then for 5th grade, I would do the Wood Song. So there's all different books that still pertain to the Iditarod that we can read and study. Nearpod then allows me to do an open-ended question like, what did you learn about the Iditarod? This one is private where only I can see it. Later, it's going to be where students can see it. So that way, if I see a misconception, I can clear it up before it's shared later in the lesson with friends. So this is where students will share. This is another website that I've included in Nearpod, and they're going to read about the different mushers, and they're going to vote and tell which musher they think we should follow and why they think that. And they're going to do that on this board right here, and they'll be able to see their response as well as the responses of their classmates. And this will be a class discussion where we try to figure out which musher we want to follow. And the mushers carry a tracking device in their sled, and so we will be able to keep up with that on a map and show it in our library. This is where reflection occurs. And so on this one, this is where they're going to share with their friends about what they've learned about the Iditarod. They can do that through video, pictures. And now I've included another video. This is a short video about a musher telling what he carries on his sled and what he does at the different checkpoints. So after watching that video, the students are going to take a poll and see what item they think is the most important on that sled. In the extend part of my lesson, students are going to create a sled that they would use to compete in the Iditarod. And they're going to do that right here within Nearpod. They're going to upload a picture of their dog sled team, their sled, and then they can do it with Legos, they can do it with Play-Doh, popsicle sticks, whatever. They're going to include that, and then they're going to tell what supplies they would take. If you wanted to take it a step further, you could have them label the different parts of the sled. And then that blue button is gone because we have completed our lesson.